Kaido believed that Luffy had died, and Luffy agrees with him. However, Kaido, while watching Luffy bouncing off the ground repeatedly, figures out that he had awakened his paramecia devil fruit power to turn his surroundings into rubber. But Kaido noticed something strange. Luffy's transformation resembles more like that of a Zoan user and less of paramecia. Kaido chomps Luffy and gulps him in. But Luffy bounced around inside him and used gomu no balloon to expand both his and Kaido's bodies. This confused Yamato and Momonuske, who were watching the battle from afar. They wondered if Kaido getting fatter was just one of his forms. Kaido became frustrated with his body gaining rubber properties. Meanwhile, Luffy found himself inside Kaido and saw two lights, which were actually Kaido's eyes. Luffy grabbed onto Kaido's nose and used gomu no escape rocket to escape from inside him. Luffy then became giant-sized using gomu no giant and surprised everyone. Kaido bit Luffy again, but Luffy used Kaido's dragon form to his advantage and turned him into a jump rope. Using gomu no jump rope, as they descended back to the rooftop, Kaido attacked Luffy with a powerful blast breath, knocking him off the rooftop. However, Luffy spun his legs so fast that he could run across the air and return to the rooftop. Luffy prepared for another attack, but Kaido struck him with a powerful move called Conqueror of Three Worlds, Ragnarok. This sent Luffy's head crashing through the ground and down to the lower floors. Despite the shock, Luffy pulled himself back up and showed signs of fatigue and aging after using Gear 5. Kaido assures Luffy that he could die, and someone will share the story of his great battle, but Luffy refused, as he don't need any of that, and stated that, after death, all that remains are bones. Yamato and Momonuske recognized that it was really Luffy, although his hair and clothes had turned white, making him hard to recognize. As Luffy prepared to use Gear 5 again, he reminded himself of the promises and debts he had to various people. Kaido cautioned Luffy to be careful as he might die, but Luffy disregarded the fear of death and activated Gear 5. This time, when Kaido struck Luffy with his spiky weapon, Luffy's head wrapped around it, taking on a crescent shape. Despite the pain, Luffy kept going, but another blow from Kaido squashes him to the ground. He used the ground as a springboard to launch himself back up, and then returned to his normal size by launching off a rock formation. Kaido, still trying to understand Luffy's new fighting style, watched as Luffy approached him with his arms spinning like helicopter blades. Luffy landed a powerful punch on Kaido, seemingly going through his head and knocking him to the ground. Luffy found it all fun and enjoyable. Luffy is thinking about what to name his last attack. As Kaido gets up, Kaido asks Luffy who he is. Onto Luffy, he confidently declares his name and his ambition to surpass Kaido and become the Pirate King. At the same time, Zunesha, a giant elephant, recognizes Luffy as Joy Boy. He feels happy and tells that he can put hopes in him. Kaido thinks Luffy is being cheeky and informs him about his awakening, which generally happens when a person's mind and body catches up to its powers. Kaido acknowledged the losses he have suffered in the war, and asks Luffy if it is the same for him. But Luffy argues as he still have to take something back from Kaido. Kaido attacks Luffy with Kundali Dragon Swarm, but Luffy counters with powerful punches. Kaido realizes that the castle is on fire and believes the alliance will be burned, but Luffy assures him that they can handle it, as he have left them in charge. Luffy skillfully dodges another attack from Kaido, called Demolition Gust. Next we see Yamato, who tells Momonuske that Kaido is running out of energy, and won't be able to sustain his powerful flame clouds much longer. This means that someone needs to create equally large flame clouds, or else the island of Onigashima will fall. On the rooftop, Kaido notices that Luffy managed to grab lightning, and uses a new move called gomu no lightning. He throws the lightning bolt at Kaido, but Kaido dodges it and hits Luffy with a Saikai, sending him flying. However, Luffy quickly grabs another lightning bolt and swings back at Kaido with an inflated leg. Before Luffy can use another move, Kaido dodges and strikes him on the head. Kaido reveals that having a strong devil fruit power is not enough to conquer the world, mentioning that even Goldie Roger didn't have a devil fruit power. Luffy gets propelled down to the ground, but bounces back up, as Luffy tries to defend himself. Kaido emphasizes that haki is what truly matters to conquer the seas. Kaido then uses Destroyer of Death Thunder Bagua, injuring Luffy. Despite the injury, Luffy grabs Kaido and starts dragging him up into the sky. Kaido tries to shake him loose and transforms into his full dragon form to cut Luffy with Dragon Twister Demolition Gust. Realizing his weakness against slashing attacks, Kaido uses Blast Breath to blast Luffy and demands that he comes back down. We finally hear Luffy, who instructs Momo to move the island aside which is in his way, as he wants to put an end to all this, and we see he have enlarged his hand coated in haki to deliver a final blow to Kaido. Momonuske tells Luffy that he can't move Onigashima, but his family's memory compels him to try. Kaido challenges Luffy, covering himself in fire and called his new form Flaming Drum Dragon. He reveals that Odin died 20 years ago, and Wano became lawless, waiting for a savior. The intense heat from Kaido's body made Luffy release his left hand, through which he grabbed Kaido, but Kaido says he can let go of his hand, as he never intended to run because he'll vaporize his hand. And we witnesses Kaido's burning fire on his body causing the left horn of Onigashima to break. Kaido then uses Rising Dragon Blazing Bagua, while Luffy uses Gomu Gomu no Budrung Gun, using the advanced armament haki that Hyogoro taught him. The two attacks collide. Kaido admits that Luffy has come a long way in their fight, but he doubts that Luffy can change the world. He reflects on his own past, remembering how he was a fearsome fighter even at the age of 10 in his home, Vodka Kingdom. However, 46 years ago, the kingdom faced financial troubles and resorted to starting wars to steal resources in order to pay heavenly tribute to the world government. Otherwise, their kingdom's human rights will be taken away by the world. The king of the kingdom, wanting to secure a place in next year's reverie, offered Kaido to Navy. This made Kaido angry, but he managed to escape from the Marines, gaining a notorious reputation and a rumor that he gets captured when he is hungry, and only to eat on prison ships. A couple of years later, Kaido became even more famous for his strength on an island called Hachinosu. This caught the attention of Edward Newgate, who recruited him into the Rocks Pirates, as Rocks had an interest in his strength. After the God Valley incident, the Rocks Pirates disbanded. Kaido went on to form his own group called the Beasts Pirates. During this time, a person named Kurozumi Higurashi approached him with a proposition, leading to an alliance with Kurozumi Orochi in Wano. Kaido agreed to their terms and later declared his intention to drag the wealthy nobles to the battlefield and teach them about the horrors of war, and create a world where war determines one's value. Later on, he reveals to King that he overheard Yamato mentioning Joy Boy's name, and claims that Odin's wish to open Wano is meant to welcome Joy Boy. He claims to know who Joy Boy is, which piques King's interest. In the present, a character named Joseph decides to run away, while Yamato supports Momonuske, who is trying to create large flame clouds desperately. Unfortunately, Kaido's flame clouds disappear completely, which means the island will fall soon. Cut to Kaido and Luffy. Kaido asks Luffy what kind of world he wants to create. That's when Momonuske finally manages to produce his own flame clouds to support the island. Luffy replies that he wants to make a world where his friends can eat as much as they want, and he punches Kaido, sending him crashing into the ground. Momonuske safely lands on Onigashima near the flower capital but loses consciousness from exhaustion, just like Luffy. While falling, Kaido remembers his conversation with King, where he tells King that Joy Boy is the man who will surely defeat him. But King confidently believes that this person will never appear. Kaido transforms back into his human form and sinks into the ground. He falls into a massive chamber filled with magma, similar to what happened to Big Mom. This causes cracks to appear under the seas of Wano, and everyone feels the ground shaking. Suddenly, a massive volcanic eruption takes place underwater, and Luffy is officially declared the winner of the decisive battle. The longest and most anticipated fight in the history of One Piece has finally concluded. After many dramatic twists, Luffy has beaten Kaido once and for all, literally striking the Emperor down and ending his tyrannical rule over Wano. That's all for today's video. If you found any value in this video, Please make sure you like this video, this motivates me to make more content like this. And also subscribe to my channel for more videos on One Piece. What are your thoughts on this epic fight? Comments down below. So until then, bye.